these balls could talk, they would walk along the bases and into the fields. If these balls could talk with Mark and John and producer Pete.
Hey ballers, welcome to These Balls Could Talk, the podcast that realizes you should probably stop shooting three-pointers if the shots aren't falling. This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete, and we're getting ready to discuss the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. If you like what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button, or as I like to say, tickle that little bell.
Tickle.
Jalen Brunson.
We would like to welcome back to the podcast our friend Steve Mercier. What's going on, Steve?
What's up? Thanks for having me back.
Hello.
Hey, Steve.
Good to have you back.
Was this 3 now, Steve?
This is 3. Do I get a jacket?
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah,
we,
you
Pete's
have to be on
going
the
to send
show.
you one.
You have to be on the show for 5 years. Just like Saturday Night Live.
we got to have...
All right.
if Steph
All right.
reopens her
It's-
long weekender business someday, then she can make the Three Timers Club if these balls could talk.
Saturday
shirts.
night.
Yes.
Sorry.
Anyway, John, how you been?
I am good. What did I do today?
Ice cream?
We got ice cream. I'm chasing a ache and pain with my daughter Jamie, and I'm not having any luck, and I have a serious amount of dad feelings. I told a medical provider today, I'm like, I know I'm being a pain. I'm like, I'm sorry I'm being a pain. I don't feel like we're getting anywhere, and I have a lot of dad feelings. She's mostly fine. She just looks like Melanie, honestly.
I know those feelings,
So-
though. It's scary.
It's less scary now that I know she's fine. It's more, it's like I want to do something, but the feeling that I can't is really bothersome.
Yeah.
It's tough.
But it is what it is. We are caught up on the Rookie. We were watching 911, but we've pivoted to SWAT because it's way cooler and way less preachy. So we're watching SWAT now, which is awesome.
Okay.
Still playing Overwatch because Overwatch is awesome. And
When you say caught up on the Rookie, didn't they have like one final season this year?
Nope.
No.
they're still going.
Oh, they're still going.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're in season 7. So we watch them now as they come out like peasants, honestly. Like, I don't understand
Wow.
what this is.
What is this?
And,
Not binging thing.
Waiting for television like a monster. But they're very popular. They're going to do a spinoff. Nathan Fillion can sell almost as many things as Ryan Reynolds, I think. He's just the old guy version.
He's a very charismatic actor. Love him.
18 charisma on that guy, straight up.
Easy.
Easy
Yeah.
peasy.
Well, let's hope
Anyway,
for...
Mark,
let's hope Jamie's all better. And
Hey, Mark. Mark, I heard you went to a basketball game last night. Do you want to talk about that?
Ooh.
No. Next topic.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the basketball game Mark went to
Oh, boy.
later.
Oh,
but-
we're so going to talk about the basketball game.
Yeah. How was your week besides the crushing defeat that you
I mean, yeah,
had to watch in the Boston Garden?
It's been like a week
Last night.
of vices. So I
Vices.
went to the Celtics game last night. But the night before that, I saw Thunderbolts. And
Thunderbolts is not a vice. That's a gift.
I kind of have a Marvel problem. Not as big as your Marvel problem, but I kind of have a Marvel problem.
There's nothing wrong with having a Marvel problem, especially okay. You can't say Thunderbolts is a Marvel problem. It's the best movie they put out in 5 years.
Yeah, I think I bought in too much of the hype. So I was, while I did enjoy the movie, I don't know. I just didn't think it was that great of a movie because
You can't
everyone
con-
else was saying that it was.
You
Oh, it's
can't
such a
convince
great
me.
movie.
You can't
I don't know.
convince me.
I
I think
saw-
it
I
was
heard
very
too much.
good.
I heard it was very good. I don't know if it was like the greatest movie since Avengers Endgame, which they
I
said.
think it was.
Although I didn't really think
Because
about it all that
Deadpool
much.
versus Wolverine doesn't really count because that movie was hilarious.
No, I'm not counting.
and
Yeah, I'm not counting that one.
like a movie. It's the best movie they put out since Infinity War.
I mean, it did remind me a lot of the first Avengers movie,
Yeah.
which it's kind of on point right there because it kind of was. Spoiler alert.
Steve, have you seen this yet? I have not.
No, I have not. Full disclosure, I haven't watched any of them.
Oh, you're off the show.
Oh, wow. Okay. Where do we begin?
Well,
Good thing we're not talking about Marvel tonight.
Pete
You
just
know-
picks
Yeah,
and chooses.
I would have had to have passed. Yeah, I just haven't.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
jealous,
My-
actually.
My son just kind of missed it, right? Like it was just a little,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we just never got that. We were more Star Wars, right? Like that.
Okay.
From
Well,
front to
now,
back.
now Disney
That's-
owns all of it, so you can go on
Yeah, I
Disney
know,
Plus
right?
and
Yeah.
grab them whenever you want.
Lot of- right.
That is
lot of
Acolyte
crossing over and stuff.
Acolyte got renewed, and Andor is the best thing they've done in 5 years. Andor is chef's kiss. Pete, how are you? How's the work going?
The work is, I think, cross your fingers, slowing down. I was there a little bit later today, but it's also because I've been running again. I've done the same route 3 times on last Thursday, this Monday, and now this Thursday. And each day, it was a 4-mile run. Each day was 7 seconds per mile off the time.
Nice.
So I just want to keep
We've
that.
covered this. It's because you're a freak of nature.
Sorry, our freaking nature.
But I don't feel in shape at all. So I'm hoping that it gets easier as I don't enjoy running for like where the last 15 minutes of my run, my heart rate's over 180 beats a minute, and I'm too stubborn to slow down. So, so it'll be nice when I'm
Pete,
in good
I
enough
don't think I
shape to
told you
not
guys-
have that happen.
I don't think I told you guys. I'm actually training for a half marathon right now.
Really?
I have one in like a week and a half. Yeah.
Holy shit! Wait. Where? Because
Congratulations.
my buddy Rob is doing one too.
In Rhode
My,
Island.
my oh well, yeah. I guess that makes sense. No, yeah, my coworker Rob's doing one too, and I mean he
In
lives in
and
Pittsfield,
around
so
the
I
city of
wonder if it's the
Providence.
same one.
So it's
I'll have to
it's
ask
in
him.
East Providence. It's in
Okay.
East Providence, and it ends along the a bike path that runs along the east side of the Narragansett
Pittsfield is
Bay.
a different place in a different state.
It is, but it's
And now for
it-
something completely different.
anything east of New York. That's just the whatever the northeast area.
It's just one giant blob.
Yeah, it's just one big.
New
blob.
England is one state.
Did
New
you
England,
just
the
yada
state of New
yada
England.
New
It has a
England?
The
sports
state,
team.
it's the state of New England. It's fine.
You just yada yada New England. That's amazing.
Because
I love
it's,
that.
it's so many states so
I
close
love that
together.
for us.
It's like countries in Europe.
Sure. Those jerks.
All
Anyway,
right. Hey everyone, why did the baseball team take his glove into the sauna?
Why, Mark?
why?
To really warm up his catching skills. It's time for Warm Up Your Balls. During this segment, Pete will spin our illustrious wheel and we'll randomly select a question for our guest to answer. Are you ready, Pete?
Yeah. If we get a repeat question from last time, let me know and I will respin the wheel.
Pete, if you don't tell them, they won't know.
Well, they will if we get a question that came up. So I'm pre-warning the audience. We might be fine. We'll see.
Jeffem, Doug, close your ears.
Yeah.
Also, Amy, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, and Lisa too. Sorry, Lisa. I remember everybody.
This
Well,
may
we
or
just
may
say
not
from
apply,
last week.
Steve, but what's a recent international trip that you've done?
Oh, I went to Italy in February.
Steve went.
There you go.
Ooh, what part?
Tell us about it. Yeah.
I took my mother and my sister, and 3 of us went. My mother's like, big, huge bucket list that she has always wanted to do. So we went. We were in Rome most of the time. We were in Italy for 2 weeks. We were in Rome for most of the time, but we went and hit up Venice for a few days as well.
Did you go to the fountains of Tivoli?
No, but Venice, Carnival was happening, and we didn't know it when we booked everything.
No.
And so we ended up going over to this like one little sleepy island, like north of it, where they do all the glass blowing, and then we had to take a taxi back, and we walked into like the biggest mob scene of everybody in costume I've ever seen ever.
Amazing.
It's kind of awesome.
And yeah, it was wild. It was absolutely wild. And then Rome was just amazing. It was just the whole city is a massive like art museum everywhere you go.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It was fantastic.
I will say
Fantastic. I can't wait to go back.
Oh yeah. Did you happen to go to Pompeii at all? So that's on my
I did not.
that's on my bucket list. to visit.
Pompeii's also not that exciting.
No, but
You
it's more for the archaeological history of it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's cool.
It's a town that literally
But-
got preserved by a giant volcano that killed everybody. It's like, holy shit, what a story.
Yeah.
But,
So fun facts about Italy. First time I ever got drunk was in Italy. I was 9 years old. It was at the fountains of Tivoli, outside of Rome. So that's why I asked. And yeah,
So for you, it's not when in Rome, it's when just outside of Rome.
Also, 9 years old, a little bit too mature. My family really likes to tell this story. 9-year-old John, who was just starting to discover the fairer sex, was very impressed
this
that a
story.
lot of women in Rome sunbathe topless.
I mean,
So I was like, "What's going on?
an observation.
Why are there boobs?"
It's Europe. It's fine.
It's fine. It's
staring.
Europe.
Yeah.
It's Europe.
Oh man.
Next question,
All
man.
right.
Come on.
That was pretty
Rock and
good.
roll. Let's do it. Quick fire.
Did we have this last time? What is a hobby or activity that you've tried, Steve, but did not enjoy?
Also, we did.
Yeah, actually,
But also,
yeah.
stop saying that.
Enjoy. Yeah. Gosh. I don't know. I mean, I think I've enjoyed all of them for like a minute at least.
Well, I guess maybe phrase it as one that you thought you could stick and have be a long time thing, and it ended up being like, okay, this was fun a couple times, but I
So
think
maybe
I'll
like
move on.
a hobby you
Okay.
didn't enjoy.
Yeah. No. So, okay.
Exactly.
Brewing beer.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then I just got to a point because the whole reason to start that I started brewing beer is because you just couldn't get the styles. Right? They just weren't available, right? And if you wanted to get them, you had to be, either in a larger city or whatever. So, my friends and I, we just started brewing beer because we just couldn't get our hands on anything. And
The beer
then
you
once it
wanted.
started becoming incredibly plentiful and you could get anything anywhere, it's like, well, why would I spend a whole Saturday afternoon making it when I can spend a Saturday afternoon just drinking it?
That's a good
I don't have
point.
to
Like,
bother cleaning
that is a
anything,
true
right?
fact.
So-
You're like, and if you go
So
early enough,
it was a
it's really
transition.
cheap.
Okay.
You're like $6.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh,
It's-
I wouldn't say I fell out of love with it. I
Mhm.
just, there was a necessity to starting it, and then it was just like,
Okay.
don't need to
Unlike
anymore.
the freaks of nature and my friends and co-hosts, Mark and Pete, I really hate to run. And every time I try to run, I say, running
I
might be
like to
fun. And then I run and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I really hate running.
It gets more fun if you A,
No.
do it with other people, and B, when you
No,
get better at it.
it doesn't. You're wrong.
You are that. That is a wrong fact.
What?
But if something's
but I know.
chasing you, John,
A lot of people
Yeah.
say that running becomes what Pete thinks running is, and that's the reason Pete runs. And people like Pete run, and I don't.
I mean, I've been doing it off and on, mostly on, since I was 13 years old. So, and before that, it was the typical 80s childhood of like run around in the woods, and then no parent supervision, but you end up like 2 miles away in your dinner time, and they're like, if you don't get back by dinner. So there's,
I don't ever
running involved
imagine
my
your
whole
mother
life.
saying, "If you don't get back by dinner." I mean, like,
No, not really. It was a nicer way
I
of
mean,
saying
I don't
it.
imagine. Yeah, she was like, "Come back soon, honey."
Well, we always knew because it was, just smelled good. I was like, oh, okay.
From 2 miles away.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like the bat signals
All right,
out there. With
come
like
on.
A turkey.
Next question, let's
Anyway,
go.
Blanket.
All right.
We're doing so good.
Question number 3. What's something you wish more people knew about you?
Oh boy.
These are deep.
This is why we asked the tough
They are
questions.
deep. They are deep. They are deep. Probably that. Oh man, I wish I had this one to tee up. Can we edit this one a little bit?
Sure.
Sure.
No, yeah,
It's a
no.
tough one.
I will definitely.
How about
I
like
am
a secret
definitely editing
talent
them.
or something like that, or
Some
something
people
that? Go ahead.
I don't know. Probably that I've been playing guitar for 33 years.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah, dude,
Wow.
that's a really good one.
There you go. We just had a bass player on
And,
recently, so we're halfway to a band now.
That's right, we just
Slap
need a
bass.
drummer. We can keep the beat.
There you go.
Yeah. I've been playing. I started playing when I was 18, and I'll be 50 this year. Holy crap!
That's a big deal.
And yeah, and so I started playing, and was just because my friends they all played, and I said, all right, I'll pick it up, and let me give it a whirl, and I just kind of stuck with it. I'm not very good. It's my therapy, but
Hey, I mean, that's awesome. Have you stuck with the same guitar your whole time, or have you been like collecting slowly over the years?
No, I pretty much have had the same. Well, I've had a couple, but the one that I play mainly is
Oh, show and tell.
Oh, he's gonna
Show and
get
tell.
it. Ooh, I wish we had a drum roll sound on the soundboard.
You just asked Pete to do drums.
Yeah, come on.
That's beautiful, Steve.
Drum. Nice. That one guitar.
This is it's an Ibanez hollow body. It's a
Beauty.
Yes, it's a very, very nice guitar. Thank you.
That's awesome.
It's my baby, and yeah, it was. It's more of a jazz style, and big Fish fan, and it's more of my style of music. So that's kind of where I land. So
Nice.
it doesn't have a name like Lucille or anything like that.
Lucille.
It's just my guitar.
That one guitar. Sorry, whenever I say one guitar, that's all I think about.
Right?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at getting a preamp for my bass now. It's like a knockoff of the dark glass ones that are like $500, but ones that's like a tenth of that price. I just want like a nice preamp so I can DI into my interface and like just get the tone I want and just have it set there with a bunch of knobs that don't move. It's like, okay,
Yes.
this sounds good to me.
Cool.
I plug in and I can just play it. I don't have to fuck with any kind of software or anything. Like it just works. So
Yeah.
And then I'd be more, I think, excited to start learning again. I got to do like I know Fender does monthly classes. On PC, Rocksmith actually is now a subscription, and it's more instruction and learning based as opposed to just like Rock Band with a real instrument. Like,
Oh, right.
Because that's kind of how it started. And I mean, there were lessons in there, and I was learning that way, but I never got. I was still like kind of stuck between beginner and intermediate, and I couldn't get past that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping maybe with a different method, maybe when I try again.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years though, so it's gonna be rusty. I did.
Well, and it helps that you're already musical.
I'm musical.
Like
I mean,
you
I
read music, and you can pitch, and you can pick out notes.
yeah, like I plucked through the theme song of our show. That bass line is me. Like I played that, but I mean, it's still like hacking my way through it, and it's not even that complex of a bass line. It's 20 seconds long. That's about the extent of my abilities right now. But very cool, man.
That's
All
awesome.
right.
Yeah, that's a great one to
Show and tell.
showcase.
Yeah,
I read poetry.
I knew that about you.
No. And like
You've
all
talked
different
about it on the show before.
all different kinds,
Mhm.
and have for a really long time.
John, have you ever read any of your poetry out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah?
All the time, actually. I'm not
Cool.
shy. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's very personal. I'm sure there's very personal things that you've written about. So
Had a blog
some
for a
people
little
don't
while.
like to. Yeah.
For a little while, I tried to put it on Blogspot when I was feeling. There was a couple of years, like I don't know, 10 years ago, where I was feeling very. I'm gonna say the word lost because I don't have a better word. Is before I really got a good handle on my my anxiety and like this phase of my life that was right after some stuff, and I started writing a lot. I mean, a lot more, and I took a thing that I really liked and I put it out there, and that was really cathartic.
I was gonna say, did that help just to
yeah,
put something out there? Yeah, that's cool.
I had an English class in college once that put me onto the idea of free writing. So the idea of free writing, right, in like a poetic standpoint, is literally you just put a pencil to a paper and you just write. You try not to stop and think that hard.
Yep.
And you just write, and then after you look at what you wrote, and you're like, and so a lot of musicians do that for song lyrics, but it's really good for poetry, which is essentially the same.
Yeah, I've in creative writing classes, I've done the exercise. It's pretty cool. Some of the stuff you can come up with.
Yeah.
Nice, guys.
And we're at time.
Beautiful. It's like it was meant to be. All right, so guys, is it time for? I don't know. Do we have a better name for this yet, or is it still just bonus
Until you name it something different, that's what it is.
Fine. Okay.
Just talking to God Mike the entire time.
Yeah, I'll just do the. And now to really annoy our audience.
They love it. They love the God Mike. Beat.
So I didn't really have anything prepared this time. We talked about the draft to death. I haven't had a chance to update our power rankings to reflect how teams are with the draft yet. I will do one more before the season starts. So, but until then, I wanted to shift over to hockey a little bit because I've heard a news story that the Sabres hired.
I love that you're doing hockey. That's amazing.
So I want to catch people up on that because it's been very frustrating to follow the Sabres. They haven't been in the playoffs since 2011, and they tried to tank for McDavid. Hi, Jamie. Hold on. Okay, I'll keep going. And so they had Connor McDavid in their grasp, lost the lottery, still got second pick, took Jack Eichel. He also is great and has now won a Stanley Cup. That didn't work, though. Traded him away. Then tried to rebuild with a new thing. They've been through 5 GMs in the last 10 years. So now the latest thing, they get Lindy Ruff back as their coach. Lindy Ruff was their coach in the late 90s through the mid 2000s. I know. He was the Sabres coach for 19 years, and I don't know why he left. And then they brought him back because in the time that he was gone, they never had a better coach, which is really sad. It's they fired him because they weren't happy with his results. And then 10 years later, they're like, we're sorry. Please come back.
I think didn't the Red Wings do that too? They brought back Scotty Bowman after
I'm not I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
I mean, there has not been such a clear level of mismanagement in professional sports than the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, to have to have Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel
have you met the Jets?
Fall through your system.
They never got McDavid, but they got Eichel. And they put together a good team, and then good
then to not get McDavid.
Well, I mean, that was a lottery pick. They lost, it was chance. But
be better at being bad.
I guess. They tanked 2 years in a row.
You and I talked about that tanking team so much. Mm-hmm. It's wild that they were bad at losing.
Oh, yeah, right. Because Linus Ullmark was this. Every time they'd get a goalie and they were trying to lose on purpose, their goalie would be amazing. So damn it, stop being good. But the reason I bring this up today is the latest news is former player Eric Stahl was now out of nowhere hired in to be the assistant GM. And we all thought they were going to fire their GM, Kevin Adams, who has been really wishy-washy with who he's kept, who he's drafted in the last 3 years. So he was also supposed to be a temp fill-in GM, and then they just sort of kept him. I don't know what's happening, guys. Is this a problem with when you have an owner of 2 organizations in the same town, and they have now put all their eggs in the Bills, and maybe they're just ignoring the Sabres? What's going on here? Do you think this is something that... Do you think this is a problem maybe from the top? I know I'm not giving you a whole lot of information.
Do you feel the owner has a lot of responsibilities with the day-to-day operations?
Not so much anymore. I feel like they used to, and that's when things were kind of promising, especially the first year they took ownership, they got into the playoffs. That was 2011. And then things kind of fell apart the next year, and then they made their decision to tank, basically, because they knew that McDavid and Eichel were coming, so that they'd be ready for the 2015 draft to guarantee a first or second pick. But so at least they had a direction. But even in that time, there was some weirdness going on. They hired Pat LaFontaine in to be kind of president of hockey operations. He lasted 1 month. He hired a GM, and then all of a sudden he was gone, and no one explained it. There was not a single press conference about it, and they refused to take any questions about it. He was just disappeared. So things were already a little weird from the start. And thank God the Bills organization, they've run much better. But also, we're talking about the Pegula's family, Terry and Kim. But Kim fell ill with an illness that they didn't really fully disclose. There may be more information, but I think at one point the two of them combined were enough to handle both teams. But now with Kim kind of no longer really doing anything day to day, I just think Terry's kind of like, well, I mean, the Bills are good. I'm just going to stick with that. Like, that's kind of the way we feel. And so the Sabres feel like a neglected team. I mean, their arena's falling apart. It's a lot of stuff top to bottom. That's just a question mark.
I mean, is it a profitable organization? Do they make money?
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, Buffalo's a small market, and like where
I mean, the Bills make money.
the Bills make plenty of money. Yeah, Bills make plenty of money, and I mean, they have a lot more support. Don't forget too, the Bills have a lot of fan base out in Rochester, Syracuse, Toronto.
And wasn't it one of the first things that Pagula did when he took, he saved Buffalo, is he built that ice rink in downtown?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been in it. It's this giant hotel complex, and there's 7 hockey rinks in there. They've done the NHL draft there. Like, it's a big deal. They've done like, I don't know if they've done Olympic events, but they've done like international tournament events there. Like, it's a big deal.
It almost seems, if the Pagulas run it, that he likes hockey, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's like, oh, I might as well just own that. I mean, especially if it's not losing him any money. Maybe if it's breaking even, like, who cares? Who cares if hockey's good in Buffalo?
Yeah,
because hockey hasn't been good in Buffalo since Pat LaFontaine, right? So
no, they've been good multiple times since then. They had the run with Hasek in the late 90s, right? They got to the Cup finals, and then the 05 and 06 teams and 07 a little bit too were like fucking awesome out of nowhere, and they were the most exciting team to watch. But then that got weird, and they just ditched their 2 best players, and then that went downhill really quickly. So, but that was with Ryan Miller, who is a great goalie for the. Actually, he had a famous spat on the U.S. Olympic team too, where he played out of his mind.
Ryan Miller.
Yeah, Ryan Miller. So after Hasek left the Sabres, Ryan Miller stepped in only a few years later. So it was kind of like, oh, the Sabres just have good goalies the way like the Green Bay Packers in football have good quarterbacks. Like, they just always.
So
have.
I don't think we've said anything, and we're at time. But I have a really important question because I don't care about hockey.
Sorry, this is just kind of me rambling here. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, this is more what
was your team in Blades of Steel?
Oh man, I don't remember what colors they were.
Okay, so I looked it up. So everybody, guys, the greatest game, and it was, and you could fight in Blades of Steel on Nintendo. Oh my, that fucking game! New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Montreal, Toronto, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Minnesota. Those were the teams.
I feel like I probably would have played Chicago at the time. No, that was probably more NHL, like 93, 94, because they had like some really good players.
I remember NHL 94, 96, and the Sabres teams in those years were dynamite.
They were good too.
Dynamite.
Yeah, they had a line once with LaFontaine, Dale Howard, Shuck, and Alexander Mogilny. It was like, holy shit. But
did you play Blades of Steel, Steve?
It was the original NES.
Maybe.
Or yeah,
the greatest sports game on Nintendo.
Was it like 16? Was it like a 16-bit? Like, was it really bad? Like
8-bit.
The fighting,
it was fucking terrible. It was fucking terrible.
The original Nintendo.
Right, it was 8-bit. Yeah, right. Like, it was rudimentary.
But somehow they pulled off like a 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional space. Somehow they pulled off fighting that was interesting. Like, that game was great. Great.
All right, we would like to thank one of this week's fake sponsors, Mood Mugs. Color-changing mugs that reveal your emotional damage or caffeine level. Mood Mugs. Your coffee knows.
That was one of the better ones.
I think
copyright it and make it, man.
Yes. I think ChatGPT was having a bad day. All right, everyone, shall we kick off this shindig?
Hell yeah.
So I want to see if everyone can guess the year for all of these next topic songs. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Welcome to the first topic of this podcast. Such a heated debate. You know you can't wait. I'm talking about sports on the first topic of this podcast. Any time of year, you can find it here.
That was amazing, Mark.
Yeah.
So last year was arguably one of the best classes for rookie quarterbacks in recent memory, with players like Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., J.A. McCarthy, technically, and last year's Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels. We've seen most of their teams make big offseason moves in free agency and or the draft. So the Commanders traded for Deebo Samuel and future Hall of Fame tackle Laramie Tunsil, and drafted another tackle and a potential starting cornerback, Trey, no relation to Torrey, Amos. The Bears probably won the head coach race with offensive guru Ben Johnson, while also bolstering the offensive line and drafting 2 pass catchers in tight end Colston Loveland and wide receiver Luther Burden III. The Patriots certainly had the most money to spend in the offseason, and they definitely spent it with Milton Williams, Harold Landry, Carlton Davis, Garrett Bradbury, and wide receivers Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins. While John's Giants probably won day 1 of the draft, the Patriots most likely won day 2 in drafting the Ohio State University's running back Trayvon Henderson and wide receiver Kyle Williams from Washington State. So everyone, which second-year QB do we feel is set up for the most success this upcoming season?
I think it's got to be Jaden Daniels. Like the team, they were already good to start.
They're going to be so good.
Don't you think people, now they're going to see like a year's worth of video on him, that they're going to play him differently?
Possible. I mean, well, look at who's the QB in the Texans?
CJ Stroud.
Stroud had an incredible first season. And then you're like, oh, they're loading him up with Diggs as their wide receiver 3. Like they're going to be unstable. And
yeah, but he got hurt early.
Then they weren't. But he was still.
They also had a shitty offensive line.
Yeah. But I think he regressed a little bit too. Oh no, Steve, where'd you go?
Right here.
Oh, there you go. You just turned into a bunch of lines for a second. I was like, what happened?
You were just pixels.
Yeah.
Just taking a drink.
Steve's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that the best team, and it's so hard to judge the player. I think that the best team with a second-year quarterback has to be the Washington Commanders. Right?
I mean, they were already 10 wins, exciting to get into the playoffs the way they did.
And I mean, Deebo Samuel loves hamburgers, but he's very good at football. So
he's still
he's not going to be the
athletic,
first
though,
option.
Man.
Yeah, he's not the first option in Washington. They're going to come up with probably some pretty cool packages for him.
Scary Terry's still a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He's scary. I think that Ben Johnson doesn't necessarily have to fix Caleb Williams, but I think that the Bears have to be better.
I mean,
I see there's no way for the Bears not to be better next year.
At this point,
I think the Bears have to be better.
They have to be.
So, right, DJ Moore, you have Rome Odunze, who is like highly rated prospect come in last year. We have not seen anywhere near his potential. And now you got Luther Burden, who I thought was one of the best receivers. Arguably, this is a much thinner draft class, but still, he was one of the top guys in that.
Arguably the best pass catching tight end in the draft as well.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
So excited about
Yeah, John mentioned it.
Yeah,
I am very excited about Colston Loveland.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that he is there at pick 12 in our
I'm very excited for my dynasty team because I have Caleb Williams.
I hope he's there at pick 12. I hope everybody gets distracted by all the really good wide receivers and running backs and leaves me the tight end that I desperately need.
I draft before you, John.
Everybody drafts before me. I won.
Yeah,
I know.
John, I got a tight end for you.
That's gross, Pete.
That's very gross. This is a family show.
But he has so much
family show.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
It's gross, Pete.
Damn it.
I mean, I want to talk. I want to talk a little bit.
Focus.
I want to talk a little bit more about my Patriots while we're thinking of Pete's tight ass or
Fucking
tight end.
football terms, man.
So, I mean, like I said, the Patriots had so much money to spend. And they definitely spent it. They spent it more on the defensive side. I don't know why you need both Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins. I don't quite get that. But I really love I love the running back, Travion Henderson, who's going to be a great complement to what's their running back right now? I can't.
Ramondre
Stevenson.
Thank you, Ramondre Stevenson. And then Kyle Williams is potentially that big play guy that they've been missing for many years.
I'm jealous of that one. I'm excited for you guys with him.
and they beefed up the offensive line as well. I mean, they're potentially set up. Vrabel's a very good coach. They got Josh McDaniels back. Now we'll see. Josh McDaniels is a very complicated offense, so we'll see how Drake May deals with that. Matt Jones didn't do very well with it, but then
See, I
Matt
think
Jones
you
is Matt
guys are
Jones.
in a very similar spot as the Giants. I mean, Drake May had some flashes at the end of last season, but is this still really mostly his rookie gig? I mean,
May
like
looked way more promising than anything the Giants have had under center since Eli Manning.
Well, we're not talking about the Daniel Jones
That's
years,
true.
Pete. Those didn't exist. We forgot about them. But what I'm saying is, like, and I know it's not the same. I'm not trying to say it's the same, but like Jackson Dart will have a shot to start and play in a very young, talented offensive team. I mean, I think
We're
that
not
the
talking
Giants
about Jackson Dart right now. Always
Yes,
got to
we are.
bring it back to the Giants. don't you?
We're always talking about Jackson Dart. No, but
You
what I'm
can't tell
saying is,
listeners, John's very excited about Jackson
Drake May
Dart.
has not led a team. They got him a lot of toys. They got Will Campbell specifically for Drake May. They got Stephon Diggs specifically for Drake May. They are all in, man. The depth chart at QB, it's Drake May, Joshua Dobbs, and some guy who I've never heard of from the CFL. So, I mean, like, it's time. It's Drake May's time. So we'll see if he can show up, but I think he will. I think he's talented enough.
Let's talk.
They have
I know
no
we're a
choice,
little.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they have no
the Bills.
choice.
Or sorry, because it's the Bills. It's the NFC, the AFC East is the Bills. They have no choice. You've got to compete, right?
Yeah,
Well,
and I
they're
mean,
not going to win the division.
but they
I
could.
think the Pats are going to flirt with the
No.
playoffs.
I was
though.
going to say they could be a sneaky wild card team, though. Yeah.
But they could
Yeah.
make the wild card because the Dolphins aren't going to be that good.
No, the Dolphins aren't going to be that good, and the Jets are the Jets.
Yeah.
I want to briefly. I know we're out of time, but I want to briefly talk about the teams that we didn't really talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Bo Nix on the Broncos, Michael Penix Jr.,
Yeah.
the Falcons, and JJ McCarthy on the Vikings. Now the Vikings didn't really do anything except
Well,
for
the Falcons are going to be bad. They're bad at football.
Well, yeah.
Um,
I mean, the Falcons did nothing for Michael Penix Jr.
No, and
Michael
that's-
Penix Jr.
that's
is going to
unfortunate
save that
'cause
franchise.
Penix actually impressed me more than I expected at the end of last year, and
I
you
think Bo Nix
he
is
could
a
have used some
dog.
support.
I think Penix is a left-handed Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Bo Nix is a dog.
Okay.
I think that the Broncos are going to be good.
Tough.
And
They didn't take the leap with like personnel
we
that I
will
expected.
see. I think that JJ is in a very similar situation as Jackson Dart, but a very similar situation
Only he has a Justin Jefferson.
than Drake May. We have a Malik Neighbors
And a Jordan
Shut up.
Addison. Like that's a
It's the same.
ridiculous wide receiver 1 and 2 combo.
Yeah,
Very
but
true.
But right.
So-
Yeah.
but
He could really
like John
bust
said,
out.
this is an unknown. I mean, he
Yeah,
had a
well,
red he had a red shirt
beefed
year
up
last
their,
year.
Yeah, they beefed up their offensive line as well, so that's going to help them.
Mhm.
Because that was Sam Darnold's downfall, was the fact that he couldn't deal with pressure.
it's
my
because
God.
his name is Sam Darnold, Mark.
Well, the two
Seeing
offensive
ghosts, man.
starting tackles got hurt, and
his
so
name is
no
Sam
one,
Darnold.
I felt so bad for him in that Lions game where he just got the shit kicked out of him.
Oh yeah. Oof. You're not going to recover from that.
No.
Seattle now.
Yeah. He is.
He is. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Everybody's shuffling around.
I saw an article today talking about what Sam Darnold is going to do. It said veteran Sam Darnold set to mentor Jalen Milroe, and I laughed. Poor Jalen Milroe. He has to learn football from Sam Darnold.
Sam
Fuck
Darnold's
his
just
life.
like, kid, this league is scary. They always have to get you.
All right, we are at time, my friends.
Sounds good. All right.
Talking about next topic. I'm talking about next topic. Yeah.
That was really good, man. I should look up your song so I get your year game right.
I know the songs.
All right,
I know
so-
both the songs. I just don't know the year.
I have one football question, so we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
So the 2024 Dallas Cowboys were kind of in free fall in 2024. Yes, Tim, I know you were right. During a sad season, finishing 7-10, we got to see Dak Prescott implode. We got to see a stadium design fail where the blinding sun caused drop passes for the home team receivers and
That was amazing.
Jonathan Mingo. We got to see Jonathan Mingo, you guys. So this week, the Cowboys tried to bounce back, trading the Steelers for the Steelers wide receiver 1 George Pickens in exchange for a 2026 third-round pick and a pick swap in 2027. So Dallas is getting a talented receiver in Pickens, but one that has been mired in controversy. So does George Pickens make them any better? Or is he just another bad pick by Jerry Jones in a world where Jerry needs to stop making football decisions?
I don't
This
know.
was a good pick for 1 year. This is essentially a 1 year rental because George Pickens is going to be a motivated wide receiver. He's going to be an excellent complement to CeeDee Lamb. Okay?
I mean, yeah, the talent there between the two of them is undeniably great. You think he's going to behave, though?
I think he's going to behave for 1 year because he knows a big contract is on the line. And it's, I'm sorry, Jerry Jones, it's not going to be in Dallas because you're already paying Dak, CD, and eventually you're going to pay Micah Parsons when you finally realize that you should.
Yeah, or trade him to Buffalo. We'll take him.
No, there's no way he's going to trade Micah.
Go ahead,
Do you
Steve,
think there was some Do you think there was some motivation by Pittsburgh to get Pickens out of there because
Absolutely.
of grabbing DK Metcalf, and they didn't want those boys to kill each other?
I think the writing was on the wall a long time ago that George Pickens was going to leave Pittsburgh, and they just they got that opportunity.
Yeah, they seemed kind of at odds for
regardless of
the
what
last
happened
2
with
years.
DK.
Yeah, Pickens just didn't seem like he gave a shit to be in Pittsburgh anymore this past season.
How long ago it was like Pickens unfollowed the Steelers on socials 2.5 months ago, 3 months ago.
I love how that's a big thing.
Before he was ever traded.
Yeah, like ooh.
I mean, in a world where the players don't have a whole lot of leverage, I mean, it's a thing that they can do. Like they can. We had a whole set of conversations about how the players can sit out. So it's a thing they can do. They cannot promote the team. Like it's a thing they can.
So unfortunately for John, I think this makes Dallas better than the Giants, believe it or not.
But it all depends on what Dak Prescott you get, right?
I think this is going to be a motivated Dak Prescott because Jerry also bolstered the offensive line in the draft, and he's going to have 2 really good targets to throw at. Technically 3 if you count Ferguson. I mean, the Cowboys are kind of set up in a win now scenario because they have
the amount of money that they spent.
They have 4. Well, they also have 4 prominent guys on the last year of their rookie contract, of which Micah Parsons is one of them. Yeah, and Ferguson is also another one.
I feel like that's what they always do, though. It's like Jerry Jones tight ropes the salary cap just barely, and it's always win now. But
and next year he's screwed. Like there's no. I mean, Micah's definitely going to get paid. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like he's going to be the highest paid defensive player in the game. So he's going to get like $40 million. Dak is getting like 60. CD is getting like 30. Guess what? That's half your salary cap.
Yeah.
For 3 players.
Is that even worth it for Dak anymore? Like, does he still physically have it? Forget about motivation. Like, he's been injured way too many times. He's not that young anymore.
In this world where we're talking about the Cowboys in a win now mode, do you think that Javonte Williams restarts his career there? Now that he's the RB1,
potentially, because again, they bolstered that offensive line. So
but they still have Ezekiel Elliott on the team.
No, they don't. They got Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, and then they got 2 rookie running backs. So
so that's nicely refreshed. Then that helps.
I think they're in good. I mean, I really think Dallas is in pretty good shape. I don't disagree. I think that they fixed a lot of problems. I think that Jake Ferguson and Luke Shoemaker are passable journeyman tight ends. They're fine. And I think that they're...
So the NFC East is the strongest in the NFL, is what you're saying, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think it's very good. and it's very good in a way that the Eagles and the Commanders are so good, and that the Giants and the Cowboys have the possibility of being fine. I think they'll both be... I think the Giants will be a 500 team this year. I'll be pretty happy with 9-8, 8-9 in there somewhere. I'll be pretty happy with that. They don't have to make the playoffs this year. They just have to not win. They have to win more than 3 games.
I don't see how they're gonna win, get in the playoffs now, because I think they are the 4th best team in that division. And now that defense that they now have is probably going to save their ass in a lot of the games. So
They do have a really good defense.
They might only win like at most 2 divisional games, I think.
Yeah, and they have to play all those guys twice. Oh,
Mhm.
God. Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
No good. I don't want to play Philly twice. Though they always play Philly hard.
Yeah, they play everyone in the
Yeah.
division hard.
We'll see, gents. That might be the strongest division in the league, though.
I mean, it's
Dun,
not.
dun, dun.
Well, what division do you think is
I don't
better
know
than the NFC?
Yeah, what's better?
Yeah.
The AFC West is no longer as. Well, I guess Denver
the
is
division
pretty
of-
strong.
the
The Raiders
division
are
of
not going to
death.
suck as much.
What,
Oh,
the
yeah,
NFC
the
North?
North. Actually, yeah, Cincy has a bounce back year, but Pittsburgh's down though. I feel
Oh,
like-
the
doesn't
AFC
need to have
North.
even though they lost, Cincy was the most prolific offense in the NFL last year, bar none.
They were.
And they didn't lose anyone. So
yeah, I see them coming back.
Yeah, they lost
stronger.
everyone on their defense though,
Yeah,
and they potentially aren't going to have Trey Hendrickson.
oh, that's right. But I mean, I could still see them somehow wrangling out that they'll get scored on 50 points a game.
Maybe.
They'll score 50 points a game, and they'll still get 9-10 wins. But like Pittsburgh,
it's
though,
hard to.
how
it's hard
how
to
does
go
Pittsburgh do a
under
winning
500.
season now?
I'm
without
sorry,
any?
Pittsburgh is going to be a terrible team, I think, and they're still depending on Aaron Rodgers, of which with George Pickens going back to this topic being out of Pittsburgh now,
Yeah.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh. I don't.
No,
That's my
Well, why
hot
would he?
take.
And he goes nowhere.
no.
I
No,
think
Do you
he
think this is the end for
Yeah,
Rodgers?
that means he's not going to play. I don't think it's the end. I don't. He potentially sits out this year, or someone gets so nervous that they sign him halfway through the year.
Who the fuck would take him though if he
I
sits
can
out
see
a
that
year?
happening. I can see that happen. Hey, somebody goes down, right? Like Atlanta,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I suppose
Right.
so.
Hello, Joe
That's true.
Flacco
Right.
got hired off the couch.
No,
That's true.
Years
you
ago.
guys are right.
Yeah.
The NFC
Yeah.
North is by far the best division in football. By far.
NFC or AFC?
NFC.
Oh yeah,
The
I guess.
Lions are going to win 15. The
I don't
Vikings
know.
probably will win at least.
No, the Lions
12.
won't win. No, the
I don't
Lions,
think they're as
Lions
good
are going to
as-
regress.
Yeah, I think they're still going to be one of the top
with
NFC
some
teams.
with a brand new OC in DC. I'm sorry, no, they're going to regress.
Yeah, I still see them getting 11, 12 wins, but they're not like the 14, 15
They're going to go
year
down
monster.
to 12 wins with the same offensive core and different coaches. Really?
I
They didn't
mean,
lose anybody on the team.
the difference between 15 wins and 10 is a hair's width sometimes in this league.
I think that is not a truth fact, and we are out of time.
We shall see.
You want the next topic? Hot takes and no one can stop it. Next topic. Feel the heat from it through the screen. Oh yeah. You can talk. You can jive. Having the time of your life. Ooh, see that sport. Watch that team. Dig in the next topic. Wow, that was a high song.
Yeah, that's really high. I can't believe you
You're
even
like,
got through
wow.
that.
ABBA's hard.
That was very good.
Yeah,
I didn't actually intend to do it in that key, but I started with it and I was like, oh,
You just-
fuck, I have to
you
stick
just
with it
stuck
now.
yeah. So, guys, hold on real quickly before we start this one. Hotel California. What was the second one?
Car wash.
Car wash. ABBA Dancing Queen. What the hell? It's 1970 something. I just don't know what.
70.
See, I knew the decade was going to be easy.
Yeah.
75.
This is good.
That's a guess.
Yeah,
Nine.
yes.
Does Steve know?
I'm gonna say 79. I'm saying 79.
That's also a guess. Pete,
74.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not going to say whether or not anyone's right or wrong yet.
Okay.
So, a high number of massage therapy. Whoa, something just happened to my screen.
What?
That's so weird.
That's weird.
My
That's weird,
my
Mark.
Google Docs just reset on me. like wall in the middle there. Okay. So a high number of massage therapists have alleged that an NFL player sexually assaulted them. While the story may sound familiar when it was from Deshaun Watson, the latest NFL player who was the recipient of the allegations is Justin Tucker. And he finally received the news most of us thought would happen in him getting released from the Baltimore Ravens.
You're fired.
I just lost my spot again. In a statement, the Ravens claim that this was purely a football decision. While this argument could be made, as the former most accurate NFL place kicker missed the most kicks last season than any other season in his career, the timing sure is noteworthy, as the Ravens will eat $7 million worth of cap space over the next 2 seasons, including almost $5 million next year. Now, the reputation of the NFL governing its athletes with sexual assault allegations is laughable, but it's certainly not the only sports league with naughty boys such as Trevor Bauer, Conor McGregor, and a good number of Canadian national junior hockey team players. So everyone, what will Justin Tucker's legacy in the NFL be, and do sports leagues need to do more about their athletes with sexual assault allegations?
All right, I think that the answer to your question is summed up by the fact that on multiple flights last year, Justin Tucker tried to flirt with women and they laughed at him because he's a fucking place kicker. Nobody gives a shit.
Wait. Wasn't that McManus?
This doesn't matter. Fucking place kickers, and it was McManus. You're right.
Okay, but he's not just a place kicker. He is also a amazing opera singer.
Yes, he is a very good opera singer, from what I understand.
I mean, the narcissism for a guy who doesn't play like he's in the NFL, but like who doesn't play wide receiver, who doesn't play quarterback, to think that he can even be an asshole in that way is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that it is just ridiculous. The whole thing is so stupid.
Aren't assholes regardless of how rich they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you take an asshole and you make them a rich asshole, then they're just a big asshole.
That just multiplies their assholeness.
Yes, the asshole category. Like, what's his face? Who got suspended? Who like abused that woman and then went over and kicked her again like a petulant child on video.
Oh, he was the Chiefs running back.
Kareem
wasn't he?
Hunt?
Kareem Hunt, yeah. He was just like on video,
Yeah.
he's like, he just kicked her again for no reason.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fuck you, Kareem Hunt.
Well, Ray Rice cold cocking that woman in the elevator.
Didn't Tyreek Hill have some pretty bad allegations too?
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So really,
But go ahead, Steve.
Steve.
No, in terms of the kind of the second part of John's question is like, I think if I remember reading that from before was, should the NFL do a little bit more about this? And I think that the answer to that is yes, absolutely. Not just for the fact that because of what's happened and we have to be, do the right thing. For the NFL and their entry into women's flag football and it becoming an Olympic sport.
Oh yeah,
that right? They absolutely cannot. There has to be a zero tolerance policy, and we say it. You say that all you want. You say it. But the higher, the more popular that athlete is, the more of a superstar that athlete is, the lesser and lesser that becomes. And we have got to continue to hold those guys standards, or else this will never get fixed. Right? Like if Tyreek Hill does this thing, and right, like he needs to get bounced. If Patrick Mahomes does something like this, he needs to get bounced.
Not the golden boy.
Has to be an absolute, right? But there just has to be a zero tolerance policy. You can't do it. We all have a mother. Many of us have got sisters. Many of us have got wives and girlfriends and sisters, and right, we would never want that to happen.
Do you have a wife and a
To
girlfriend?
the people that we love.
Well, and I think I agree with I agree with you so completely, and I like to say that I become a feminist in my old age, and I really just say that
You have no
because
choice in that house, John.
I agree. No, for real. Like I find myself, and I've always cared because I have 4 sisters, and I grew up with women, and I come from a matriarchal household. But like, we have to teach our boys to be good men, and there was a long time there where we weren't. We just weren't. Boys will be boys, right? Oh, he's hitting you because he likes you. Oh, that's just the way they are. Like, fuck all of that. All of that. I tell Jamie this all the time. I say, listen, when you have something to say, because she's so concerned about being boastful or being braggy or being like proud of herself. I was like, forget all of that. You're good at stuff. If you have something to say, say it. You have every right to say what you want to say. You have every right to be what you want to be. And don't ever forget that. Don't ever. And it's so important to do both sides, to teach our girls to be proud of themselves and to stand up for themselves and to advocate for themselves, because there's just so much shit that's pushing them down. It makes me so mad.
I have a looming question that I think I know what everyone's answer is going to be. Do you think that like these commissioners, so you got Goodell, Silver, Gary Bettman, and Rob Manfred, do you think, and then, the four major sports teams, sorry, MLS, do you think they care about athletes getting caught with their hands in the cookie jar with
No.
regards to sexual allegations? I don't
As
either.
long as it doesn't hurt their bottom line, probably not.
I think
they only want to do something if the court of public opinion tells them that they have to.
I think if none of them ever got caught, they wouldn't investigate it. And I think that we live in such a hot button society, and the reason that the Ravens let Justin Tucker go is because they had to.
Right.
They
So because these guys are good athletes, a lot of times we forget about these previous things, like Ben Roethlisberger.
Huh.
He had
Nobody
I
forgets
didn't
about-
forget about that.
People remember him
Yeah.
as a two-time winning Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston got caught with his hand in the cookie jar at Florida State. Guess how we remember him? Goomba, gabagool, gabagool. That's how we were.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Really?
Yes, Peyton Manning
Oh, I
when
didn't
he
know
was at
about that
Tennessee.
one. I didn't even know.
Oh yeah,
about
look that one up. Yeah, Peyton
Huh.
Manning. The list is long, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when you put a lot of these athletes up on this pedestal and allow them to you never say no to them, right? And they're up here.
They think they can do whatever
But
they want, right?
They correct, right? I don't have to be accountable now, right? Is what there is the feeling behind that. And
Was
that's
it
the part that needs to be stopped.
absolute power corrupts absolutely?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, right?
That is a truth fact.
All right, final thoughts, because that was not a good ending or a time. Mark, what do you want to see?
Yeah,
What were you thinking?
I guess
when you
how
wrote
do
the
we
question?
fix this?
Yeah.
How do we go?
I don't know
forward?
what the answer is, but I don't think these sports leagues care.
Yeah, I agree.
That's okay. Then we'll just stay sad.
I mean, the answer is very simple. The answer is everyone needs to be held accountable for their actions, no matter their gender, no matter how much money they make.
Absolutely.
That's
Sure.
That's the answer. Sing me a song, Mark.
Yes.
Next topic in sight. Hot take spinning like a running back at flight. Next topic in sight. We got down, but we never got tired. We're gonna make it through the night.
I changed my year to 1978.
That's a
I'm
good
still with 75. And also, I think the Golden State Warriors are bad without Steph Curry.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They're getting their asses.
How would the Knicks be without Jalen Brunson?
I mean, they would be okay. They wouldn't be great, but they would be okay.
Would be up 2-0.
The only thing about
They
that
wouldn't be
song,
up
Mark,
2-0.
is as good as the lyrics are that you've come up with. I do miss revved up like a douche in the middle of
Yeah, I
the
know.
night. It's like, what does that even mean?
That's all I hear.
I mean,
So
that's
it's revved
that
up
even-
like a deuce.
Oh, I thought I
What
was.
does that even mean?
But I always say douche.
All right.
No, it does sound like douche,
It
doesn't it?
totally does.
So, the New York Yankees season so far is kind of a tale of two cities. So they are top 3, and I looked this up in the MLB in every offensive category and lead baseball in home runs. Captain Aaron Judge leads the charge with an average of 414. Recently hitting his 12th home run and 33 RBIs. That's wrong. It's probably 35 or 37. So, however, the Yankees are just 3 games over the 500 mark and still first in the AL East, but look rocky, dropping 2 out of 3 to a questionable Tampa Bay Rays. So, Can the Yankees fix the jarring lack of depth in their injured pitching rotation? How much patience should they have for a still broken Devin Williams? And what would be the next move if we were in charge?
You know, I mean, I honestly think the Yankees just need to be patient. I mean, it's a long season, right? What does it really matter what's going on in April and May? They have a very good roster. That's one in the AL East. And I think they're going to be fine come September, October. They just need to be patient. Now, that's excluding Devin Williams. I don't know what to do about Devin Williams.
Fucking Devin Williams. He lost his
Strikeouts
job.
Those walks
And
away.
he's still fucking terrible, though. He's terrible. He's so
do you
bad.
think they sent him down to AAA just to like get his shit together?
I mean, they already took the job away from him. Fucking Luke Weaver is still a beast. I mean, he earned the job.
Luke Weaver.
Yeah, fucking A, right?
I believe you can close the game tonight.
So Devin Williams got demoted to setup guy. He had a couple of games that were okay, but the Padres just fucking teed off on him, and his ERA is still over 10. Over 10. It's May, and it's just it is so hard to watch Devin Williams pitch. And the thing is, Max Fried is as advertised.
He's been great.
Great. And Rodon is still fine. He's playing fine. He's fine. But we win 2 games. It seems like we win 2 games a week because the rest of the pitchers are fucking terrible. They're terrible. I don't even know their names, and they always lose, and it's so hard to watch.
Well, when does what's his face come back?
Gil comes back in June or July.
No. Spider Tech guy.
Cole's out all season.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
I actually didn't.
He had Tommy John. He came out opening day with his arm it looked really bad.
Thanks.
He probably needed Tommy John the end of last year.
He did. He definitely did. So we're not going to get, but the thing is, Fried now replaces Garrett Cole. It would have been great if we had them both, but we don't. But they need to get someone. They need a 15-game winner, and they need to just go and do it. And that's the thing that I want. So who should they get? Maybe, is the question.
Well, I mean, Chris Bassett out of Toronto. He's going to be a free agent next year, right? There could be a possibility for that. Toronto's not going to be in this at all. They, make a shake.
I mean, it's
for
not
him.
that the Yankees don't have money.
Correct. They can spend their way out of this. If they have to. They haven't done it before, but is it Hank or Hal? Does he really open up the checkbook all that much? I don't know. I mean, he does comparatively to the rest of it, but I don't think he's like his dad, right? Where he's about to be like, well, screw it. I'll spend whatever it takes to win. I don't know if he's really like that guy, but I think you could also dip into your prospects. There's a couple of guys in the Hudson Valley Renegades that are out in there. Why don't you just give these dudes a shot? Right, let's see, Bryce Cunningham. He's 3-1 with a 2.1 ERA. He's got 34 strikeouts on the year. Not terrible. Elmar Rodriguez Cruz, another one, 3-1 on the year, 2.25 ERA with 35 strikeouts. So you guys got some guys that are prospects that are down in the lower.
Steve did his homework.
Lower leagues. Did some homework, right? In these lower leagues that might, throw them up there. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You're going to lose again? Who gives a shit?
Well, that's one of the things that have been keeping the Yankees and the news and we talked about this, but like the news in late April was how good the Baby Bombers were doing. Like,
yeah, they've
the Yankees
actually
have
been
a
building
lot
their
of
farm teams. Yeah,
really promising players. I mean, they're kind of fucking up Dominguez, but like, Ben Rice is impressive. Like, he's impressive. Ben Rice has the same slugging numbers as Aaron Judge did his sophomore season. Like, and I said it really early on. I think that's the reason Paul Goldschmidt got hired. He got hired to build Ben Rice into
and Paul Goldschmidt has been like producing
Goldschmidt's been
too.
a beast.
Yeah,
and like Volpe isn't hitting, but Volpe is going to win the Golden Glove for shortstop again. I mean, he's amazing in the field. Like, what's his face? Jazz is hurt. I love Jazz Chisholm. Jazz is hurt right now, but Cabrera came up and Cabrera's playing great. Offensively, the Yankees don't have any problems at all.
until Aaron Judge gets hurt. because he has
Shut
like
your
a
fucking mouth. You dirty slut.
he like
I don't-
stubs his
I
giant
don't need
6'8"
no. He
toe.
what he's gonna do? All 6'10" of him. He's gonna go through a fucking wall again and stub his toe.
Yeah.
He was. Remember when he knocked that wall down because he's such a
Yes.
massive man, and he was just like caught the ball, and he was like, "I think I'm injured a little bit." Aaron, you went through a wall. He's like, "I did." Yeah, Aaron, you went through a wall.
Damn.
Okay. I don't know.
So,
think they're in
so
good
I guess, yeah. So, is the answer to call these guys up from the farm system, or do we make a trade?
No, I think the answer is the most expensive available pitcher. Literally,
The Yankee way.
the Yankee way.
The
Balls
Yankee way.
out.
But the Dodgers might get that person, John.
Fuck the Dodgers.
That's
I don't know,
funny.
man.
But Mark, I don't agree. I don't disagree with you with the patience thing, right? I think especially, like it's still early. It's still if this was July, or even mid to end June, in mid June, I think that you could maybe have the
Steve,
yips a
are we
little bit more,
patient
but
with Devin Williams, though?
I think you need to give him a little bit of rope to hang himself, but not a lot.
He's gonna
honestly.
go on the
Like, some
Carlos.
guys just don't pick.
Yeah, he's gonna
Some guys just
go
can't
on the
pitch
Rodon
anymore.
janitor track. I think maybe he needs to start
Yeah.
cleaning the toilets like Rodon did, and apparently
Yeah.
that taught him how to.
The
how
thing
to
that
do
pisses
something.
me off about Devin Williams, and not Carlos Rodon, because Rodon had one good season. Devin Williams had 4 seasons where he was the reliever of the year in the National League. 4 seasons in a row. Not a bad pitcher. Comes to New York, he's fucking garbage. I'm
Yeah,
upset
but he's
now.
not the first. He's not the first, and he won't be the
No.
last.
No. All right, go time.
We would like to thank another fake sponsor, FridgeWiz. Our smart refrigerators use AI to scan, sort, and recommend your midnight snack choices. FridgeWiz. Know what's in there before you open the door.
I like when you get all fancy at the end. And you're like, boop,
I
I
thought this
thought
is-
that was going to go somewhere.
That's my
completely
ad
different.
voice.
Yeah.
That's my ad voice.
I thought we had a fridge one before, but no, I guess
You probably have. I'm not keeping track.
it's okay.
Don't stop thinking about next topic. Don't stop. It'll soon be here. It'll be here better than before. Next topic's on. Next topic's on.
Shit, that's
Ooh.
Fleetwood Mac, right?
Yes, it is.
Ooh.
stop believing about tomorrow.
I might
Don't you look
know the
back?
year now.
Ooh. It's 1975, Pete.
So the fastest 2 minutes in sports occurred last weekend with the 151st installment of the Kentucky Derby. It resulted in a 7-1 odds horse named Sovereignty crossing the finish line first and me winning my Derby pool. The TV coverage of the race was insanely lengthy and actually started at 10:30 in the morning Eastern time and ended 9 hours later. Now, the numbers say it was a success, though, as it averaged 17.7 million viewers, which was the highest since 1989, and it peaked at 21.8 million. So, everyone, does the rise in viewers equate to a good sign for the Kentucky Derby and horse racing's future?
No.
Don't forget about streaming.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
People
I don't
like-
think streaming numbers are included in the...
listen, I have literally been handicapping horses since I was 6 years old. Okay. And I really like the racetrack. I don't think it's going to change. I mean, it's the thing about the Triple Crown is the Triple Crown is a spectacle. People wear their big hats. I saw video of people flying into Kentucky with their big hats and wearing them in the airport. Hilarious.
It is an event. It is a spectacle.
People drink a shitload during those races. The next one's in Maryland. The Preakness is also fun. The flowers are yellow and black. The thing about
Sovereignty,
these,
I don't believe is running in that race.
the thing about these races is they're designed for the horses to lose because it is an increasing distance for baby horses, 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, races that they haven't run yet. So it is a real test. The thing about last year and this year is the Belmont at Belmont Park, which is currently closed for renovations, is 1 3/8 miles. Positive for us Capital Regioners, the Belmont is going to be at Saratoga again. Negatively, Saratoga is not a 1 3/8 track, so they're going to just run another 1 1/8, which is a completely average.
Is that like 2 laps?
So, okay, quick lesson. Races are run in furlongs. There's 8 furlongs in a mile. A lot of races are 6 furlongs, a 1 1/8, 9 furlongs. So a 1 3/8, 11 furlongs. So that's takes about 12 seconds. Takes about 12 seconds for
Saratoga.
is a 1.5 miles, 1.25 miles. They can run 1.25 miles in Saratoga. So, and it's hard to make horses run more than 1 lap because the dirt track is kind of small, honestly, at Saratoga. So it won't. It is theoretically, if any horse were to win the Triple Crown this year or last year, there would be an asterisk for sure because it's easy.
Well, they're not, because Sovereignty is not going to be in the Preakness. And this is the second year in a row, I believe, that the Kentucky Derby winner is not going to be in the Preakness.
It is a decision for them. I mean, those races are all $1 million races, but the owners don't get the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the owners get a percentage, the trainers get a percentage, and the jockeys get a percentage of the purse. It's just different. It's different than the way it used to be. Now, that being said, the reason that Saratoga is so cool is because Saratoga has a little bit of the energy of the Triple Crown. It has the hats and the pomp and circumstance of horse racing, which I think really appeals to people. And I think it really appeals to like millennials specifically because it's just very fancy. Like you can have a mint julep at the racetrack and like millennials are like, I love a fancy drink, you know?
What was the sentiment about the Belmont being in Saratoga last year?
I mean, it sold out. It literally sold out in a day and they made a shitload of money. And they're going to make a shitload of money again. People love Saratoga. That town is built for that track, and people love that feel. That like that old world, old money, northeast feel. People love that.
So the people that hosted the Derby party that I went to, they go to Saratoga at least once a year. Sometimes they actually go multiple
course
times.
They do.
Yeah, they're big. They're a big horse racing family. One of them made an exacta on, I believe, the second to last, the third to last, because technically the big Derby is the second to last race. And another one made a trifecta, believe it or not. Like, and you win a lot of money by doing that. Well, the way that they did it, they did. Like one of them won. Well, I guess he thought he won like 1,200, but it was, I think, something went wrong, and I think it was only like 800 or something like that. But the guy that won the trifecta won 2,500. Not bad.
I did not look at the odds. The final odds of the Kentucky Derby. Typically what happens is triples are hard, trifectas are first, second, and third horse, right? And typically you do things like box them, which is just essentially bet all the combinations of horses. If you pick 1, 2, 3, it can come in 1, 2, 3. It can come in 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, all that stuff. So there's 8 combinations in a trifecta box. Because math. So, but to make a lot of money in a trifecta, you need to have a horse that goes off at more than 10 to 1. You just do. So, I mean, you can bet you can win one of those and win $100. You can win one of those and win $5,000. It just depends.
Johnny gonna go to the track this year?
Hell yeah, I love the track.
So my Derby friends did invite me to Saratoga with them, so we will see.
You should go.
Although I have told them the last few times I attempted to go to Saratoga was when you took me and you lost. The first time that you like ever lost on the ponies.
It's no good.
And the last time was they shut the whole racetrack down.
Steve, did I ever tell you I won the pick 6 when I was 10 or 11 when Holy Bull won the Travers?
No, I didn't know the story.
Won $6,000. And I used it to buy my first car.
Nice.
Positively, my dad has the same name as I do, so he did all the tax things. We walked to a little tax office, and the day was funny because we had to do that, and so we were late to dinner, and I had all this money, like a big wad of cash, and so I bought everybody presents. My aunt and uncle were there. I bought them like a painting, and I saved the rest. And midway through the pick six, okay, you pick the winner of the third race through the eighth race, 6 races in a row. And so obviously it is odds, a difficult thing to do, and so you get paid a lot. And so 2 races in, me being me, but 11 or 12, I walked over to this like guy who's smoking a cigar. I was like, hey, I'm 2 races in the pick 6. I'll sell you my ticket for $100. And the guy literally just like looked at me sideways. He was like, I'm like, okay. So
Get the hell out of here, kid.
The way Saratoga works, the way you used to do it, the way a lot of people do it, is you sit in kind of a picnic area, and so you're close to people the whole time. So I was more confident than I had any business being, but I was just a obnoxious little 12-year-old, a preteen, and so I win the 3rd race of it, I get a little louder. I win the 4th race of it, I get a little louder. And this guy is like has a shit face on now. He's a little pissed off. I win the 5th race of it, I get really loud. And so that was when so Holy Bull, maybe one of the greatest horses to ever win the Travers, that was the 5th race of it. I win the 6th race of it, and here's the rub, right? I win the 6th race of it, and there were the combinations of horse racing. When you pay the pick 6, if you add another horse, it adds kind of just doubles it. So I bet 2 races, 2 horses each, right? So I bet an $8 pick 6. And so this is what I was saying before. To win a lot of money in mutual bets, you need to have a high odds horse. And so the last race I win, but I win with my like little shot in the dark horse. I win with like a 14-1 shot, 15-1 shot. And it takes like a thing that would be like, I don't know, $1,000, and it bangs it up to 6. Well, really it was 9, but tax money. And so I was like, this is fucking crazy. And there we are.
Amazing.
Get me talking about horse racing. Sing me a song, Mark. We're over time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the next topic. You're willing to make it stick, I know.
All right. Sports or ethics? What do you guys want?
What about sports ethics?
Depends. Is the ethics going to bum us out?
Oh, yeah.
Then it clearly should be your last topic.
All right. So we've made it to the point in the show, guys. After being down by upwards of 20 in the beginning of the 3rd quarter of both Game 1 and Game 2, and poor Josh Hart looking lost, like literally sitting on the ground because poor Jason Tatum broke his ankle so hard. The New York Knicks come back to snatch Game 1 and Game 2 from the championship Boston Celtics. When covering the loss, some Boston sports reporters in Game 1 going as far as blaming the rain. Okay. Excuses aside, the second half of both games and the loss boiled down to Boston being terrible at shooting. In the first game, making only 15 of 63-point attempts, the worst in NBA history, while the Knicks in Game 1 went 17 for 37 from beyond the arc. So 2025 Clutch Player of the Year, Jalen Brunson in Game 1 scored 29 in the contest. The Knicks offseason plan of supporting players seems to be working, with OJ Anunoby scoring 29 as well, and the Knicks getting impressive full-court performances from both Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges. So, Mark Mosley, what's going on with the Celtics?
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Next topic.
Amazing.
So, listen, they had a game plan. The Celtics live and die by the 3-pointer. When the threes aren't falling, though, and this is the playoffs, and you're essentially now in a win-or-go-home scenario, maybe you should change up the game plan just a little bit, especially considering you built that 20-point lead with the high pick and roll. Mm-hmm. Like, Porzingis loves playing against his former team. And Cat can't guard the high pick and roll. Now Robinson is a little bit better at it, but they were kicking the Knicks' ass in the third quarter of both games with the high pick and roll.
Hmm?
Why you stopped doing that, I have no idea.
But the shooting, like, there were
Yeah.
many just pathetic shots.
I heard a bunch of NBA analysts call it arrogant to continuously shoot those threes when they're not
I
falling.
think that's a really good word for it, honestly.
Personally, I call it stupid.
I think that the Knicks,
If one plan isn't working, you should shift to another plan.
I
It
think
was working early in the game.
what those two
Yeah.
games really show, besides Boston, maybe. I mean, I think it's hard when you go into a series and every sports reporter, everyone in the whole world is like, well, I mean, the Knicks don't have a shot. And everybody said this on Sunday and even on Monday. The Knicks don't have a shot. And then
I always thought the Knicks had a shot. I thought this series was going 6 games.
after the month, well, it's definitely going 6 games now, Mark.
Well, only if the Celtics win 2 games.
I mean, it's already going 6 games because the Celtics will have to win 4 still to somehow win. I think there's a percentage. There is now an 80% win rate for the team that won the first 2 games away to win the series. Not saying that they will win or lose. I still think that the Celtics are a better team on paper. I think that this Knicks team has a lot of heart to win those 2 games, to be down by that much. I think
Absolutely.
that Jalen Brunson continues to be the best fourth quarter player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Your numbers don't
think
sound
that-
right to me, though. I
don't even
thought
think that's supposition.
I thought Brunson only had 16 points in game 2.
Those were all game 1 stats.
Oh, they were game 1 stats. Okay. He
Because
actually
I wrote the question on Tuesday.
Gotcha. Cat was actually I'm sorry, no, it wasn't Cat. Cat was awesome in the first half. Jalen, they were suffocating Jalen. I thought they did a fantastic job of defending him for most of the game. The 2 people that really won them game 2 were Josh Hart and Anunoby. Like, they were actually, I'm sorry, Mikal Bridges also was very, very good in that game.
For Mikal Bridges,
still has a funny looking shot, but
for Mikal Bridges to steal the ball to win the game from Jason Tatum 2 games in a row is wild to me. It makes him worth all the draft picks.
yeah.
I mean, they literally got they got OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges to beat the Boston Celtics, and that's happening.
So I think that the Knicks definitely deserve to win both those games. Without a doubt, they deserve to win both those games.
I agree. They outplayed them in the fourth quarter clearly. In both games.
I hope, because now he did actually rest Brunson pretty deep into the fourth quarter last night's game. I think he came out with like 6.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter or something. Jalen Brunson. But I mean, he's still playing like 6 or 7 deep on that roster, and that has in history killed them. So if this series does go into the 6th or 7th game of the series, and Tibbs continues to play them the minutes that they've been playing, are they going to have enough energy and heart to do what they've done in the first 2 games? We will see. Now, time will tell. Now, it's, again, it has to get that far. Do I think the Celtics are going to bounce back in game 3? I actually do. In the regular season, they were a better road team than they were a home team.
Interesting. Okay.
So I actually do think the Celtics are going to bounce back in game 3. I don't know about game 4, though.
Have you seen the video?
2 home, 2 away.
2 home, 2 away, 1 home,
And then
one
one
away,
home.
1 home. So 3 and 4 will be in the Garden at the Mecca. 5, if they get there, knock on wood, will be in the Boston Garden.
I mean, I am not giving up on the Celtics. I am a big believer. I'm a true Celtics fan, okay?
I mean, you have
there's
the best.
clearly a way you can do. Yes, there's clearly a way you can
have
do
the
this.
best
And
team
if you
on
win
paper.
2 games, if you win 2 games in New York, guess what? It's now a best of 3 series. And you have the momentum on your side because you have just won 2 games in a row.
I mean, I never thought
unlikely?
that the Knicks would
Yes.
pull 2 in the Boston Garden, but they did.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did. I don't think anyone did.
Don't think you guys will pull 2 in the Garden. I don't think you will. That seems wild. If you
Nice split.
see how excited New York is about this team, they are literally standing 12 deep outside of MSG watching the game on big screen TVs when they're away. I mean,
Yeah.
Is that
They
enough
are-
though to push these players, like Mark was saying, who are strung pretty thin? Like,
so
is
if
that
you
gonna get
ask
them through the
Jalen
whole
Brunson,
series?
if you ask Jalen Brunson, he has in his press conferences thanked Tom Thibodeau for playing him so much so that he is so good in the fourth quarter. They're all believers, man.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't know if it's the right answer, but they're all on board with this plan. And I guess maybe that speaks to how good Thibodeau is in the locker room, I guess. How much he connects with the players.
The players
for them-
love Tibbs. The
For
players
them
love
to get
Tibbs.
their asses kicked so hard and to be
Mhm.
like, that's the right way to play basketball. I don't know. Maybe it's right. The difference between this team and last year's team is the reason that they're doing okay so far. Because at this time last year, after a 6-game series in Philadelphia against the Sixers, they were gassed against the Pacers.
I remember
They did
that,
not
yeah.
look as good in the semifinals, and they look pretty good. They look bad in the first half, so it's concerning, but they so good in the end. Literally two of the most, I mean, the Knicks have probably put together, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but probably the best playoff basketball so far. That series against Detroit was cinema.
No,
So-
I mean the Thunder have definitely looked like the best team, despite
No, not the
losing
best
game
team.
one.
Not the
Oh.
best team, the best games.
Oh, then yes.
Hmm.
'Cause yeah, every single game that they've been played in has been decided by single digits.
Cinema. It's all been great, great basketball. So, I don't know. We'll see.
When do they play
Time
next?
will tell. Tomorrow.
Nice. All right.
No, Saturday.
Is it tomorrow or Saturday? Yeah, I think it's Saturday.
Saturday at 3, which Charles Barkley said that the NBA was full of a bunch of dummies. You know how he says dummies? He called them dummies.
It's like Domish. It's like Domish.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Charles Barkley.
All right, shall we?
We shall.
It's time.
It's next topic, and you've gone too far. Yeah, you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on your old man knowledge. You can rely on your old man knowledge. It's next topic. All right, that was the last one.
All
Final
right.
guesses on the year.
1973.
Steve?
Staying with 79. Staying with 79.
1977.
Ah, I don't think any of us had that one. And I threw out
I
3
don't
different
think you're
years, and none of them were right. Okay, so that Fleetwood Mac song was not on Rumors. That I thought it was, and that's what threw me off, because that came out in 73.
So
Focus
I don't know.
Focus
I don't
on
know
Mark.
how this topic is going to go. There are multiple reasons why AI has enriched our lives, with examples such as creating social media content, analyzing meeting notes to create a summarization email, and possibly researching podcast topics. Now, we've only nicked the surface thus far, but some people have utilized it for a more personal reason in establishing boyfriends or girlfriends, like in the movie Her. In a news story I saw on CBS Mornings, not a sponsor, one man even had a human girlfriend in addition to his AI girlfriend. So everyone, what do we think is the appeal to an AI companion in a romantic setting?
It's kind of weird. I
It's
guess
a weird
if
topic, Mark.
I guess
is a
if
weird topic,
I guess if
but-
it makes the person happy, I mean, how do you argue that? But
I mean,
Dating has come to the fact where that people have given up and they just want to, but they feel comfortable with AI. Now, in some respects, AI has, it's responding to what you say, and it's in general, it's responding in a positive note.
yeah. This reminds me of freshman year. I took a communications class and I mean, this is back in 99, but even then there was a lot of discussions about, like this type of communication from an artificial or a computer or AI source. And, it's amazing how much I still think about that. That was like just a 100 level class, but it still had some pretty cool things. And one of the things cited in it was a whole conversation that this person had with it. And the philosophical point was like, if you truly are convinced and believe it's real, like is that the same kind of psychological state that you would be in as if talking to a real person? Like, is it more of really a state of mind? And it really got into, where do you draw that line, or is there a line?
Well, I mean, the ethics of Westworld, which I have said on the show before, if you can't tell, does it matter?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, so this is as of right now, these are like these AI companions. Most of them, some of them are actually, maybe like autonomous or Autobots, whatever you want to call them.
Autobots.
I don't know.
Definitely not the Decepticons.
Yeah, or Decepticons, but
Well, those are the bad ones.
but a lot of them are like avatars or not actual physical beings. So
None of them are physical
people-
beings. Markets and LLM.
Never mind that. But they're getting that feeling that
AI is still a buzzword.
it is a buzzword.
Yeah.
But you can't have that physical relationship with them, right? But
No, you
some
can't.
people, I guess, are for going that, right?
But some people may be fulfilled enough emotionally without that.
It was funny watching this on the news. I believe it was on yesterday morning. And so yes, this one man has a human girlfriend along with his AI girlfriend, and they were interviewing him, and the human girlfriend was was asked about it. It's like, well, are you okay with this? And she's like, well, that's what he likes. I felt bad for her.
That doesn't sound like it's a healthy. Like
that does not sound good. No.
No.
Has anybody seen the Jack Quaid film this year, Companion?
I have not. No.
So Jack Quaid, the guy from The Boys, has a movie about a android.
This is the one where he
girlfriend.
feels no pain. Oh no, is this something else?
No, that's something else. That is a different movie.
Else.
This is literally a movie about a AI robot who is his girlfriend bot. It has been a thing that her with what's his face. It's a thing that sci-fi has talked about for a really long time.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily. In a world, I like to talk about AI in a world where we're in the future and AI is perfect and you can't tell, right? You just can't tell. There's a robot, it stands up, but it is totally artificial. I would like to say in retrospect that it's not for me, but who knows? If I fall into a situation, if you meet an android and you have a connection with an android and you maybe don't know it's an android until you do.
Now we're getting into Blade Runner, right?
What's to stop you?
They literally
right?
didn't know who was a replicant and who wasn't.
I think the ethics of it is very interesting, and we're running in a world where maybe there's so many relationships that start online that stay online for a really long time. If you're talking to something and you're matching with it and you feel really good about your conversations, to each his own, honestly.
But isn't it kind of coercing you? Because it's telling you what you want to hear in a lot of respects.
No, I don't.
But it's telling you what it's taught to how to respond.
Well, I guess then it depends on the complexity of the AI, right?
It's if we're talking about it, and I don't know any of the factual functional science, the design of these companion bots, but like if a LLM takes your input and responds to it in a way that is positive, there's nothing different than that in a date. That's how people respond. You're on a date, you hear a pattern, you respond to it. If somebody says, wow, do you like this movie? You don't say, no, that movie sucks. You come up with something to talk about the movie because you're on a date. So you're responding to a pattern. It's the same.
Oh, I say it sucks. Maybe that's why I'm single.
Yeah, see, Mark, you should learn from these AI bots.
And so maybe the AI bot is told to respond positively, but
right, that's what I was just going to say. Like at some point, you have to prompt it to tell it to respond in the way you want it to respond, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it's not. There is certainly not a genuine connection, even though that may feel genuine. It's not, right? And I think that we have to be very careful with this.
Yeah, I think the ethics of it is really very questionable. Questionable ethics.
It's a weird
if you take
thing,
a person,
especially as it gets closer to reality, or like
if
closer
you take
to
a person who is lonely, who does not match with human counterparts, who maybe, and let's just say they don't know it's an AI, they start talking to a chatbot over text, and that text is responsive and positive, and I would say that a person would probably really enjoy positive reaction from someone who they thought was from the opposite gender or the same gender or whatever you're into, right? I mean,
What's the over-under that Manti Teo has? AI? I'm just kidding.
Oh, too soon, I think, Steve. Too soon.
Oh, come on. That was like 10 years ago.
just soon enough.
But when it really comes down to it, though, that AI on the other end is not going to be fully self-aware. It's just like Arnold said in Terminator 2.
Not yet.
I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do.
We're done. That's the end.
I had that one in my head for like 2 minutes.
It's the end. Mark, do you know what time it is?
It's the final topic. All right, John, bum us out.
Love you, Pete.
After that.
So, what's amazing about that and the timing is I have another ethical AI question. So, Chris Pelkey was killed in a road rage shooting in 2021.
Oh, I almost brought this up too. Yeah.
3.5 years later, an AI version of Pelkey, filled with forgiveness, addressed his killer in court. As AI continues to advance and spread the question of what place does it have in a courtroom, the question of what place does AI have in a courtroom is being debated by the U.S. Judicial Advisory Committee. So how do we ethically feel about posthumous appearances of murder victims in court? Is it an unfair emotional tool or well within the range of things a prosecutor can use?
It's absolutely not fair to use.
Yeah,
it.
that doesn't seem admissible.
It's not
by
real.
Yeah,
You
right?
don't know that that's what that person would say. You're going off of now. You are going off of presumably you're going off of history of what this person has said and felt in years past.
In the video clips you feed to the LLM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make it whatever you want.
You can.
The fact that
but
they
it's like, how do you know that that's what the person would say in that situation? Like, you're never going to know
exactly.
that.
And I don't. I didn't actually know or hear whether or not this was actually used as evidence in the courtroom. It actually was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on. You can essentially you could do deepfakes to do anything you want. I mean, we've seen deepfakes for other stuff too. Like we've seen Joe Biden and Donald Trump on the beach and whatnot.
I don't think it's
different stuff.
I don't think it's exactly the same as that. I think
how is it not the same?
But it's not, Trump Gaza and him feeding AI Elon Musk grapes. It's different than that. It's creating because it's like your companion bots. It's creating a AI that looks like this guy with a personality fed by clips of this guy asking him questions.
But isn't that what this video was too?
No, this was a interactable version of this man that was created from a system.
I think
so. They asked him questions and he answered. They said, "Are you mad?" And he said, "No, I believe in forgiveness." But it's because this guy was very Christian and they fed videos of him being very forgiving, being the thing that they remembered him to be. But I think ethically it's very questionable because you could create any version of this man or any people who were to testify posthumously with what you created. You could say, here's a bunch of videos of him being an asshole, and now this dude's an asshole. Or here's a bunch of videos him being very forgiving, and now he's being very forgiving.
Yeah, but the difference between that and like your AI chatbot that we were talking about in the last topic is that chatbot is never representing anything other than itself. Like, it is that person. Here you're saying
It's
you-
definitely not representing itself, Pete. The AI chatbot is representing the perfect companion so that you sell more companions.
right, but what I'm saying is that it's never saying that it's anything other than that thing. Whereas in court here, you're saying this large language model, like conjuration of this person, is representing the real person that is no longer alive, and there's the difference. It's not the same
Isn't
thing.
that so problematic? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
And the reason the Judiciary
Very
Committee is
problematic.
meeting, it's not against the law yet.
Ugh.
Hence
Should
why
be.
I've been
Sure.
saying
Dude, if
for
I
a
was a
long,
judge,
long
I'd
time,
throw
you
that
have to
shit right
establish
out.
these rules before you actually use them. All right,
right.
like there needs to be there needs to be a panel about what is permissible for AI to use.
Now, maybe
or-
this is a Pete question. Is there a tendency for people to trust something that looks like a human, that portrays itself as a human, that has its eyes a certain degree apart, that looks at you in the eyes like a human and speaks like a human, right? Is there if you're on a jury and this man who you are judging whether or not they have been murdered, and if that murder is bad, says, I am great. I am so sorry that this happened. He literally said, he said, we would maybe be friends in another life about the man who killed him.
I feel-
Right?
But the problem is, if it does affect them, then I feel like that's emotional manipulation by the prosecutor.
absolutely.
Like-
What does
100%
that have to
emotional
do with the murder? What does
It
that
is
have to do with the
100%
trial?
emotional manipulation.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
and that's even saying that it works. Like, right, the closer we get, the uncanny valley is called that for a reason. The closer you get to
he was found
100%,
guilty
the
and given
more
the
discerning
maximum
people
sentence.
It was.
are. Yeah,
It was.
well, okay, good.
I think that in
That didn't
Arizona
work
paper,
then.
and no, it was meant to, because it was presented by the prosecutor. It was meant to make people feel for the victim, and it did.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, it was
Still,
presented by the family. The family created it.
I don't-
You can't put a precedent like this in a court.
no.
They've set a precedent with it now, and
Right, you can't do it.
how did the judge really allow that?
Yeah, how did
In
he
all
not throw that out
seriousness.
immediately?
Not against the rules yet. I mean, really, what is he going to do?
The fact that I don't know.
Just
know.
like this
You-
isn't
use-
really
use
him.
some
Like,
fucking common sense.
yeah, like
So
this isn't even
What is
him.
the
so this
what does it
isn't-
have to do with the trial?
we're going to just pivot a little bit.
Right.
As we're all in business, we're all in little separate businesses. I know Steve is in marketing, and I think marketing is a really great place for LLMs, and for AI in general. But what is the judgment on ourselves as people who are presenting AI solutions, between innovation and ethics? Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. How far does it go? How efficient can you be? How many problems can you solve with AI? And where is that line?
Much more time do we have?
We're pretty much
we
out
have
of
no
time,
more.
but go
We have
on.
more. We have no more time.
No. I'm making a joke how we could do
Oh!
hours
Yeah.
on that question, right, is what I'm getting at, right? Geez, John, that's a very big question. I think that one, we have to be careful, but two, on the other hand, we're I don't know. There's I'm sure there's an analogy out there. I want to say fish running into a saw or something, but we're feeding this, right? We are all of us are just, we're feeding into this. We're teaching this every single moment of the day, right? We're almost eradicating our own selves in a lot of ways. I'm in marketing, right? And I use it as much as I can. And I know I'm basically writing myself out of a job eventually, right?
Do we think that the big ones, the Geminis, when Apple finally releases theirs, OpenAI, do we think that those are already getting fed by the content on the internet? Are we literally feeding?
100%.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
think so too.
Absolutely. Especially Gemini, right? Like, you don't think Google's being like, listen, we don't want to just put the breaks version to the public, but this one over here, right? Like, where there's no breaks.
Now, are we just? Is this how you get Skynet? Cut. I was just going to make a stupid joke. Is this how you get Skynet?
It all leads to that.
It all leads to Skynet. This is how you get Skynet, you guys.
I think Steve's been trying to talk.
Yeah. Any last words, Steve?
I'm trying to not talk. I'm trying to not talk.
Well, that's
honestly.
good because that has been our topics. We will be back next week with my boss Yvonne Souza. Hopefully a fourth time's a charm. In the meantime, you can catch up on old episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell. Tickle, tickle, tickle. We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
You can also follow and like us on our socials at @IfTheseBallsPod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Our website is www.iftheseballscould-talk-pod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner John Campani and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Perfect. Good night, everybody.
We'll be back.
That was so good.